Greetings, sir and sirettes, and welcome back to Stellaris with me, Elathrix, and of course, welcome to this bit of modded gameplay where today we're going to be taking a look at Stellaris Evolved, a mod which has changed pretty much every aspect of the game in some way, and it is incredibly complicated the first time you play it. So I've only done one very quick test run of the first 20 or so years, and there is so much to cover that I was going to do a full playthrough of this, but instead we're going to do the first 50 or 100 years today. We're going to check it out, see what it's like, and if people like it, I will do a full playthrough in the future, and that's going to be a serious undertaking. It's a bit like with gigastructural engineering. I need a bit of a run-up just to figure out some of the stuff. I'm not the fastest learner as it is, and this changes a lot. So, where to begin? So here we have the ethics, the authority, and the civics, and as you can see, it's already changed. We have the democracy over here being split into two, we have a theocracy option, we have the AI admin and the AI corporation, which currently are disabled in this build of the mod. We do have the hive mind and the machine intelligence as usual, however, these can also now be modified over here. They're all things we can add to this. They are the motivations for the consciousness. With the ethics, we have extra stuff like the industrialist and the ecologist. Egalitarian has been split up. We have cooperative now, all very similar to the ethics and civics mods I've used in the past, and there's a reason for that. So with the fanatic industrialist I've chosen, for instance, we get extra minerals, extra planetary build speed, and we can use the mining subsidizing trade policy option. But the most important thing here is that the Arcology project is only half of the regular influence, whereas this one here, I believe, it's just lower, so that's half, so obviously that's what you're meant to go with. We have Fanatic Elitist, which gives extra specialist output and also gives us academic privilege and the stratified economy, and then we have just Authoritarian, which also gives us Overseers now. So, we're obviously going for a very, very strong economy build. That's the whole point of this empire. They are the grand builders. They see themselves as the ultimate archivists of everything. Not archivists, because that's a whole different thing, which I was just looking at, and that's my fault for reading that a second ago. I meant to say architects. So they start off with invent tinkerers, so yeah, there's also loads of new civics to go through, so I role-playing running this game, definitely very possible. So start off with invent tinkerers, which means they're metallurgists, give amenities, but we also get master tinkerers as one of the leader types, which gives research and alloys and amenities. We then have masterful crafters, which is just the standard one because I like the idea of these just being able to make things really well. We then have surface exploiters, which I haven't used yet, which seems really interesting. This empire can use some planetary decisions to manage natural basic resources into valuable assets by overstripping others. So we're going to be just completely destroying worlds in order to build our marvels. And then if we go down here, we have master engineers, which is what we're going to go into in the future, which is the megastructure build cost being reduced, but also allow the use of re-engineering decisions for megastructures, giving special modifiers and deposits. These are the builders of the galaxy, and that is all they're going to be really focused on. So loads of alloys, loads of consumer goods, loads of minerals, which, yep, traits have been changed as well. I do apologise if it sounds like I'm rushing a little bit, but there is so much to cover here, and I don't want it to be several hours, and my throat is actually hurting me today, so not the best combo. So first of all, we have this. Our populations will produce minerals at 0.15 each, which I think is going to be really, really good later on. We have metamorphosis, which is really complex and difficult to figure out where it's going on, but each 10 years from being created, this species change phases in the following order. First of all, they start off as a larval stage, which need more upkeep and use more amenities. Then they become juveniles, giving 5% extra basic production and 5% extra upkeep. And then finally, they become the mature species, which gives plus 5% output. If you have an arthropoid, which we do, the effects are increased by 50%, which means when they're adults, after the 20 years is up, because it starts off, then it's 10 years to juvenile, 10 years to mature, they will give a plus 7.5% output to everything. And I just think it really fits the empire. They are then virtuous, which gives them extra alloys and extra consumer goods, which obviously is the whole point of this empire, but they are slow breeding, which we'll get into in a second. They are fleeting, and they are deviants. Now, the slow breeders normally is an absolutely terrible one, but the reason why I think it's really good for this empire and fits the theme is we've gone with one of the new origins, which is genomic shapers. This society has been obsessed with the idea of creating life since its earliest days. Although many would have said such a thing could not be done, the first true bioconstructs left the birthing chambers before the idea of spaceflight even crossed their minds. Which means we start the game with bioconstructs. Bioconstructs act very much like machines, at least in the very early game. They have extra adaptability, they're not 100% like machines, they don't have happiness, and you create them using the birthing chambers rather than the robotic assembly plants. Because this species is slow breeding and it took a very long time to colonize any of the world, I think it's only fitting that this was a big deal for them, trying to make clones in the early days, but just getting to this stage before finally getting spaceflight. It's a whole separate species and you have to choose some things to begin with, and I think now we're finally done from the starter section. I am starting to absolutely love mods like this. Originally, I wasn't the biggest fan of mods which have such a huge change to the game, but after playing things like gigastructural engineering and such, I have started to really warm up to them, and now I am so looking forward to playing this. So let's just get into the game, the first 50 or 100 years. Let's see how the game plays for the grand builders. I think when we play this as a full playthrough, if we do, I may go with a theocracy, with the machine cult, because who doesn't love a good machine cult? All the usual settings, and let's go. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, as is tradition with these videos. Although it's not a full playthrough, I just want to be speaking because we have a new background. It's pretty, isn't it? This is a fun video to record. That's all. You can like the video if you like. And so, we begin. So first things first, let's sort out our bioconstructs. I want to reselect, and one thing stands out to me. So we have all the usuals. So if I go, let's say, mammalian, we have this fellow here, but ape. Why are you specific rather than the mammalian one, since you are just the mammalian? You know what? Sure, you are our bioconstruct. I'm confused about you, and that's about it. So we have our bioservants, who are genophaged, which means they can't breed, and they have bioconstruct. So we have extra habitability, the less normal population growth, and I think they don't actually have happiness. Nope, no happiness, so essentially they are acting like machines. So that's our little extra minions, and we are already building them using the bio-tailoring chambers. Now, time to get more complex again. You may notice we have a lot of policies here, a lot more than usual. So mass media, for instance, currently is on state. I'm going to swap that over to free. Actually, no, we are authoritarian, aren't we? I'll play the empire, not just for bonuses then. Ooh, loads of worlds, lovely. Let's go state. Telecommunications, I'm going to put to civilian though to get the extra survey speed. Minimum wage, which is really interesting. So I'm not quite sure how our empire would deal with the regular workers. Because I don't feel like this is a cruel empire at all. I feel like it's just completely orientated with the production of things. As long as it's making things, as long as it's producing and building and expanding, it's a very happy empire with happy leaders and happy potatoes. So, I mean, I think it'd probably just be boring and moderate. Reduced would give us extra trade value, but I don't think it'd be cruel to its workers since they're the backbone of everything. Increased, though, which would hurt our trade value, I can't see it doing. Sure. Drugs. Yep, let's go with that. For extra trade value, that's fine, as I cough horribly again. A bit of a bad throat at the moment, I do apologise if I sound a bit gross. Civilian. I don't really want to be particularly militaristic with this one, so sure. Personal weapons, I think, would be prohibited because of the authoritarian state. Industrial production. Obviously, can't go with this one since we have fanatic industrialist. Ooh. Okay, so planetary build speed's increased. Environmental regulations reduced. Yeah, that makes sense for us. More production for rare resources. Districts are cheaper. Industrialists are happy. Education, we can only have private. Healthcare, only private. That's because of the elitist. So I guess we would actually be a bit cruel because of the elitist. But I don't like that. I'm only having elitist because of how it interacts. Market control. There's the market economy. Clerks give more trade value. Market fee reduced. Oh, I'd love that. But I can't because I don't have competitive. That's a shame. Then planned. That's the... Yeah, that's the cooperative version. Sorry if I'm going through this a little bit slowly. There's a lot to process here. Centralized government, well, obviously, that's how we are. We are authoritarian. I think we're almost there. Bioconstructs, obviously, we want them eventually. Civilian rights, once we give them mines. If we can give them mines, I honestly don't know how that works. Militarized economy. I don't know about that, actually. We do need a lot of alloys, since we're going to be expanding rapidly. But also, we love consumer goods. We are all about that masterful crafters. So, we like both, so I think quite boringly we're going to go with mixed. Just focus on both. Wealth creation. Ooh, though it could have something else. This might fit us a bit more. Trade value into minerals and energy. That, combined with the fact our populations produce minerals just by existing, I think would be all of our mineral production. Everything else, I'll keep it as it is. Expansionist still. As you can see, the tradition trees have massively changed. I'll get into that when we actually get some traditions, though. And then we have more building slots in this. And that's pretty much it. And if we look, we are producing 0.1 minerals each. And I think at the moment they're all mature. So later on, though, once we get some new populations, we'll have some larval stage and some juvenile stage populations. They don't look any different. You kind of have to just look at their stats. Ooh, I think this one might be... Is this one juvenile? Yes, because its food upkeep is increased, so is its amenities. Okay, so this one here, sorry, is larval. Or is it 5% increased? No, it is definitely larval, plus 10%. Yeah, because it's gone from 1 upkeep to 1.1. Whereas this one is a mature. Yes, you can't really see that. I wish there was a bit more of an indication, maybe like a little marker next to them or something. Is there a way I'm missing that you can easily tell? But either way, really cool. I do love the idea of that, especially with like the arthropods and stuff. So, I'll continue now until something else new arrives. I am going to have to talk so much during this mod. I picked a bad mod for when I'm a little bit sick. I'm not going to be able to breathe after this. I like air.
Vessels up.
So straight away a new thing. Mining arrays. These are essentially like the hydroponic farms, but rather than food jobs, you get mineral jobs. Anything else new? No. Yes! Energy plants. Ooh, so exact same again. This starbase module provides +2 extra energy on systems with a neutron star or pulsar. Produces for... Oh. Oh. That's neat. That's really neat. Okay. So starbases can be a bit more active like that. That's very interesting indeed. Now, as for buildings, there are also these private bit... Oh, no, they don't... When I did my test, rather than having authoritarian, I had competitive, just regular competitive, and because of that, you could have private buildings. So rather than civilian industries, you could also have private civilian industries, which did the same job, but gave you less consumer goods, but also gave you a chunk of trade value. I thought that was just universal, but it's not. I like this mod already. Now, with our ethics, we do also have some unique jobs. We have overseers, which also increase the worker output, which I didn't realise, which is really, really awesome. We have the trade specialist, which is just from the commercial zone. And then we have one of our leaders being a alloy and engineering research producer, rather than the usual one. That's really cool, because that's going to be on every single world we make. Just some passive alloys. Lovely. Also, my throat is closing. Huh. This is how I end. Into the traditions. So we have all of the normal traditions here, which all class as tier 1. Then we have these ones, which require certain tier 1s to be finished before you can unlock it. For instance, I really want this one because it unlocks a different type of megastructure. I can also, I believe... yet build more megastructures at once, so this is my goal. So to unlock this, I either have to finish Prosperity or Mercantile. I never know how to say that. Either way, this is clearly what I want. But there's Might, there's Invention, Control, Balance, Outreach, and Statecraft. And each of these have one very powerful tradition at the end, which you have to choose, and you can only choose one of them. For instance, with the one I'm going for first, there's this here. Each 3 industrial districts constructed will provide an additional building slot. Empires that already benefit from a similar effect, like me, gain extra amenities on the district, which is great. The Arcology project has its minerals reduced by 50%. the influence is more of the big issue, which thankfully is being affected by my ethics, I think. And then this one, which is the one I want, mega structures. I can build an extra one at a time. That's the end goal. So I want this prosperity into this. And it gives us things like habitation districts provide 2 extra amenities, which of course is the habitats. We get extra building slots, which is great because we have so many building slots now. That's actually a huge benefit, even early on. At least I think it will be. We'll find out. That's why we're testing today. Star bases have less upkeep, and megastructure build speed increased by 10%, which I love. So obviously, I really want this for this build. Control, which is interesting. Tax rate. I don't even know what a tax rate is. There's a tax? You can do tax? What is tax? Hello, tax? Oh, I'm missing something? I mean, I'm probably missing loads. Again, kind of a blind run. I've done a very small test and that's it. That's something we'll look into in the future. But for now, all I really want is prosperity for my people. New ascension perks, things like influential knowledge. You get extra influence and admin cap, and this will increase over time for every 10 years that passes, which I think is actually pretty darn awesome. Then with engineered evolution, you have evolutionary mastery, and then genetic perfection, which is the tier 3. We have cybernetic fascination. Tier 1, cybernetic and ascension. And synthetic ascension paths. Tier 2 is the usual synthetic evolution, then we have synthetic sublimation, which is now the tier 3 of that. The flesh is weak is still here. Oh, so it's cybernetic or synthetic. Oh, I get it. I was looking at it earlier, I wasn't quite sure what was going on. Okay, so you start off with cybernetic fascination, then you either go down the synth route, or you go down the cyborg route. Oh, I'd definitely go down the cyborg route since I've not done it before. We have a new level of 3 for the psionic. We have synthesis, replicant ascension path, purity of form. Yeah, I do not know what these ones are. Cyberphasic infusions. There's a lot to discuss and to cover for the future with these, to say the least. Starbase path finisher. Yeah, there's lots. There's just certainly lots. For now, I would like the extra admin cap and the extra influence. That'd be great. And that will increase over time. So now in one of the tier 2 ones, straight away, the first one is economic starbase buildings have less upkeep and produce more. So now, yeah, now they're producing 7.2 each. I wonder if there's a way to have a much higher starbase cap, and I wonder if that's a way of playing, because actually, to me, that's really interesting. Especially since I love wide empires. Just covering the entire map with these starbases would be really interesting. So, one thing I've just found out, which honestly I thought was a bug for a second, and actually restarted the game, is that to make research and commercial pacts is now incredibly difficult, because you see here on the protective section, underneath it has these 5 bars, which I normally, honestly, mostly ignore, just looking at the status, the attitude. Unless you're at least in this green bar, which I only am now after being in a defensive pact for a while, you can't make research or commercial pacts. That means early stage, just kind of scumming the AI, just giving them loads of allies and then being their, sorry, alloys to be their allies, isn't going to be as easy anymore. Good to know. Which is a shame, because I really want to go down a super economic route, which you can bribe people really well when you are rich. Look at the real world. Now we can look at this. So this is the strip mining decision. Strips a considerable part of this world's mineral and food natural resources to improve energy production. So let's see what this actually does. It's quite expensive, so hopefully it's pretty powerful. I'm going to go down the Starbase path, because I spoke about how interesting that seems. So this gives us +3 straight away, and provides access to a Starbase capacity increase repeatable technology. Now you do have one of those later on in the game anyway, but although it is repeatable, it isn't repeatable forever. You're going to do it a few times. And there's also rank 1 of the Starbase upgrades. So where's the rank 2? Here it is. So it's Grasp of the Void and Eternal Vigilance. Eternal Vigilance is defense platforms and home territory fire rate, and starbases are stronger. Grasp the Void is starbase modules and buildings resource base production increased by 50%. Economic starbase modules no longer reduce the starbase hull integrity and provide production bonuses to the system. So I'll probably go for that then next. For now though, I am going to go down the route of domination. So I've done the overstripping twice on the energy world, and this is the result. So it removes the maximum mining and agricultural districts, but increases the energy credits from jobs, which obviously is amazing on an energy world. I've done this twice already, so now we're getting plus 20 from any energy produced here, so really, we are going to convert it to that, which is a bit odd since it was going to be a tech world. Probably wasn't the best one to choose for this, in hindsight, but I'm dumb. So that's really to be expected. In the main world, I've done something similar, which is this. This is the housing version. So it removes all of the other districts, except for the main two, but it increases housing and amenities production by 10%, which is pretty nice. This is actually a really powerful thing, in my opinion. Especially if we didn't have as many worlds as we do have, because that way we don't really care as much, but we could really focus one of these worlds, for instance, on just loads of food, or loads of minerals, or whatever, and it would be really, really powerful. In fact, we have been struggling for food, so as much as I love Gaia worlds for research and alloys and stuff, we could use it for food, which would make more sense on how it looks. But at the same time, I do love my industrial stuff, so maybe not, maybe it will be a giant foundry because I want more alloys at the moment, we'll see. Building all these star bases has been very expensive, but actually now the bulk of our energy is coming from star bases. Getting our new Civic, and we're going with Master Engineers. It just fits the theme of the Empire too well. This will allow us to get +1 starbase building, which actually is lovely, since right now, again, almost all of our energy is coming from this. Having the extra buildings, everything else, making them as good as we can, since we're going to have them everywhere, is fantastic. Even if I was kind of thinking it was bad from the modules we're going to unlock, but still, extra buildings, still very, very welcome. But the main thing is, it will make us better at making mega structures. Now, when it comes to our ascensions, I have just grabbed Grasp the Void, which further increases the power of our star bases. And I'm also getting the tech now. So we are getting bio drones, so we no longer will have the bio servants. These will be able to do pretty much any job. They weren't doing, I think, like research jobs and unity jobs before, and they get a blank plus 5% bonus as well. So all is good. So I'm looking at our worlds, and we are getting trade value just from pops, not from the population's jobs, but the populations themselves. And I assume that is the tax rate which Control is talking about. Since now I have Domination finished, naturally I'm going into Control, which is the Tier 2 version of this. And I can't see any policies or anything which controls that. You'd think it would be here in the population policies or in the economy one. I can't see it in either. So I just think it's giving us more of a bonus, I guess, just for having population. I don't know. That is something I don't know fully, and hopefully I'll figure that out before we do a full playthrough of it, but I just can't figure it out. It's nothing to do with the wage, obviously, so I don't know. It's just more trade value is good. So we are at 50 years in. I am going to be continuing to play it for a little bit longer because there is just so much to see at the moment, and I really want to get some of the other ascensions, like the cyborg ones. It is interesting that to go down the synth route here, to go down the cyborg route, you don't really start off with cyborgs, because the first bonus doesn't turn your people into cyborgs. It's the Flesh is Weak, which is the second stage, a second tier of the cybernetic revolution. So I think I want to at least get all the way to there and start building mega structures. That's kind of where I want to be, at least by the end of this. I will say, I love how the worlds feel at the moment, how they build up and everything. I think that's a lot better than in the base game. At least it's, I don't know, it feels a bit more organic, weirdly. And I love the fact you can focus a bit more on star bases. I think I've said it a million times already, but I've been enjoying that thoroughly. So really, really happy about that. Ooh, I do need some of those, thank you very much. So, overall, really enjoying the mod. I think it could bring a lot to the table without really going too far away from the base game feel, which is something I really do appreciate. I thought it would, honestly, but nope, still feels like just playing a normal game of Stellaris, just more to it, which, again, I like that.
Construction.
With our unity, we have just grabbed this, dogmatic cohesion. Disarray and unrest must not be tolerated, as any insurrection must be avoided and neutered before it even started. We must stand together to progress and thrive. Government ethics extraction increased by 50%, and factions influence production increased by 50% as well. More influence, and more people listening to the right way of thinking. Truly a utopia for all. Oh, and I decided to change my mind, and I've gone with the Arcology project, which I believe we should have a bonus for? Yeah, it's only 100 influence, rather than 200. Beautiful. Just a small thing which is included is that, with this, we can turn hive mind populations into regular populations. If we ever take one over, for instance. Still haven't got to the basic bioengineering tech yet, though, so I still can't upgrade my poor bio-drones into anything useful other than just basic populations with no bonuses. Just been looking at these more, I think I can see where I'm going in the full playthrough if we have one. Cyber-phasic infusions. Require cybernetic fascination and mind over matter ascension perks. We will prepare a special project to enhance our citizens with mandatory cybernetic implants, and any new citizen will be required to also adopt them. Several unique enhancements will also be available for research, harnessing the power of the Shroud into a specific and permanent bonus for both our cyborgs and mechanical units. Psychic cyborgs. Cyborgs. Another new building, so this one is reducing the upkeep of all of our different refiners and giving us an administrator job. Very nice indeed. I do like the new art as well. A lot of it is just using the in-game assets, like cutting bits off and everything, but it does look very, very good. It's very on theme for the game, that's what I'm trying to say. And not all of it is using in-game assets, I believe. Just some of them look very, very good in my opinion. We do need some refinery worlds though at this point. Also, I have now finally upgraded our bioservants. It turns out they do have some unique ones just for them. They have Bio-Versatile, which I've gave them. I've also gave them Bio-Virtuous, which is the one all of our people have access to. So right now they're giving plus 5% to all jobs, but also an additional plus 10% if they're doing one of the industrial jobs. Ooh, I can eventually upgrade you. I really want to remove slow breeders. Huh, you can add genophage to everything. Seems a bit mean, but I mean, if it worked for the Krogan. The Arcology project is finished, and look at that. There's ways to actually specify what type of world you want it to be. Equips it with academic districts. Now that I love, because I've always thought the main problem with focusing on these so much is because it's just the lack of tech. I always want to have ring worlds as well, and normal worlds to go along with it. This could change that. The problem is I don't really know what exactly we lose. It looks like quite a lot. Ooh, Navy capacity ones. Interesting. An admin version. Obviously, I want to go with the research one, just because I haven't seen that before. So we shall see what happens. So far, I can't turn any of the other worlds into it, though, because I haven't got all the tech to unlock things. I think this is the only one. Yep, there we go. I haven't got all the tech to remove all these blockers, so right now I can't make any others, which is really irritating. I've decided we're going to go with the genetic route rather than the synthetic and the cyborg route, just because I want to see where that goes, but also I want to keep on creating our bioservants, so that's what we're going to be focusing on for now. And straight away, there is one really interesting one here. Genetic template, minus 20% growth speed, but plus 25% to the assembly speed. So the idea would be that you have multiple, I guess, of these. One with this, one without, and then you just allow one to grow and then the other to be built. You don't have that as well now, do you? Ooh. That could give you other things. I thought I gave you Bio-Versatile. What did I end up giving you? Oh, Bio-Perfectionist. Okay. Bioagrarian, fast-produced grunt. These are all slightly different to what I thought they were. Well, some of them were anyway. Biointelligence. I think just bioversatile, just a nice soft plus 5% to everything seems fairly good, honestly. Though I do like the grunt one, that just kind of fits quite well. And all the rest is the usual stuff, right? Looks like it. But if you go with that, we do have 1 point left. I could put that in anything. Like super workers. No, I think for now I'll just stick with versatile, just because it's easy. And I'm lazy. We'll do that, then we'll upgrade our main species, and hopefully soon enough we'll have enough unity to do more stuff. Ooh, things. Bioservant species production plus 10%. Bio-tailoring factories. With the bioservants technology, bioconstructs are affected by happiness and can potentially perform all types of jobs. Dangerous, yeah, I imagine they could probably uprise if we don't give them full citizenship. Worth it. So here we are then with the tech version of our Arcology world, and yeah, it's looking pretty good. There's loads of tech here because now you have the academic archaeologists, which give you 10 researchers each, which is just, that's absurd amounts of research when you have them all filled in, but you do lose all of the other stuff, so yeah, that's why my consumer goods aren't looking very good right now, because we've lost that. We can also make labs for rare resources, which is very interesting. Although there is just the exotic materials archaeology, which is pretty much the same thing. Oh, I love this. Absolutely love this. It makes them so much more versatile. Need more. Find the clear blockers, please. Oh, that's an archaeology. That's very annoying. Okay, I need to start prepping some worlds because we want more of them. Though we are getting close to the end of this little mini run, so it's not too much of a big deal, but in the full playthrough, I think I will once again go for the Arcologies. I think I might go with the Psychic Cyborgs, but this time I really want to get to the end of the Engineered Evolution tree at least, so we can see how that plays out.
Secured.
So far, I've had loads of fun with this, though I am skipping some stuff again because I know we're not doing this as a full playthrough, not getting all the way to the end. I have been a bit lazy with certain things, like stopping expanding now, but I think I have tested out a lot of things, and hopefully everyone has a basic idea if they want to see more of this or not. The Galactic Capital Complex. Enforced jobs, housing, lots of other stuff. Oh, is it just like another level to the main building? Very cool. So one thing I'm noticing is with these numbered ones, which obviously means different tiers of upgrade, is that you can really get some really high level upgrades to a lot of the buildings, which the base game doesn't allow. For instance, the food processing centers is now getting to level 2, maybe that's a bad example, but some of them I've seen on upgrade level 5 and such, so there's a lot of stuff we can do. I mean, just look at the main building here being at this galactic capital level. I think that's bigger than the normal one. Surely it is. I mean, it looks more impressive, so maybe it's not. Maybe even that's not a good example, but there are definitely some with very high levels. A living metal farm. So you can get living metal by sacrificing alloys. And energy. Okay, I like that a lot as well. The Empire University. Oh, cool. So we can also customize our leaders now. No maniacal, though. Jack of all trades, look at that. Oh, that just cost a fortune. Also more influence than we actually have, though if I wait for 1 month.
Technology secured.
Could even force A psionically to try and get certain things. Huh, I wonder what level they are when they arrive. Not the best. But, oh, that's a bit broken. Oh dear. It's melting! I'll call him Melty. We have a new special project. And that happened after I updated our main species with some of the new genetic stuff. I wonder what the project will give us. Okay, so apparently this leader also has other traits. I think these are... Wait, no, is this from them? Who has this trait? Who has... That's clearly there. Okay, yeah, the traits are just a bit glitchy, it seems. So it seems like the irregularities in our genome is shared with multiple of the species of the planet. It's weird, it's odd. Science needs to be done. You can give starbases big guns. Cool. I mean, that is like one of the... That is actually something I've always wanted, because I do like the idea of, for instance, capturing the endgame crisis. I've done it many times at this point. One of my most viewed full playthroughs is me building citadels to contain the Scourge, I think it was, and I absolutely adore the concept of it. But starbases themselves are terrible. It's always the defense structures, because their range is so limited and you can't control what they actually have on them. So just giving them the option to have large weapons is very good. So very happy with that. Wait. Can I? No, I can't upgrade starbases here. But yeah, that's really, really cool. So I like that very, 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 very much. Oh, also, before I forget, we have now upgraded some of our other worlds into the Arcology, and this one here is the military one. It gives us the army Arcology, which basically just means we can really up our navy capacity here. And then we also have foundry and leisure. So that's the army version. This other new one here, I was going to turn into the admin one. It makes sense. This is the admin world, but we don't really need it right now, so not too sure. Do like the art on the heritage site, on a side note. Ah, I see. So that's what we needed then to get genetic perfection, which is the final stage of our evolution. Where are you? Genetic perfection? There you are. Oh, you little trickster to hide from me. You silly goober. Yeah, so we'll finish off adaptability, then we can get genetic perfection and see what that is, and that's really where we're going to end it then. I'm also changing this into the admin one, so I want to see what that's like. I think I know how I want to do the next full playthrough, if I do it, but any suggestions for one of the other ethics and everything? I know I didn't cover them in detail, but they're very similar to the ethics and civics classic. Oh, my throat is trying to choke me at this point. Talking. I do it for a living. It's the thing I find most difficult. Because life tortures you. Something I don't think I mentioned earlier is you can also have research starbases. I just didn't find them worth it, so I didn't really start building them, so I didn't talk about them. But yeah, you can also tip them out for that. And considering that's kind of the goal of what we're going for at the moment, I really want to play a super wide empire and do something very similar to just how we've done this today, but focus either on military... Something else I didn't mention is you can also have your starbases all about lovely, lovely tech. I didn't do this in the past because I don't think it's worth it compared with some of the others. The others seem so good in the end, but yeah, that's definitely something you can do. So I'm doing that now just to see how powerful they can in fact become. And if I do go like a full super wide empire, which is kind of what I want to do in the full playthrough, just sheer expansion, making loads of starbases, relying mostly on space itself on a large map, that's really important. Also gonna need way more influence to grab everything. So the admin one simply has the admin Arcology, which gives bureaucrats. It's just a giant world of bureaucrats. A giant, horrible world just filled with paperwork. Okay, just gonna rename this.
Special project complete.
That froze the game for a good 2 minutes then. That was a little bit worrying. So, we have reached the maximum potential of biological and genetic evolution as we have discovered the key to read and unlock the true potential of any organic genetic code in our galaxy. and probably far beyond. Any organic being inside the Grand Builders is able to enjoy the best, unique, and customized genetic changes. We have forged our path to the future, cell by cell, DNA strand to DNA strand, and as perfect species we will now thrive where no one else did before. And we can actually turn everyone into us now as well, which is interesting. Ooh. Immortal! Well, that's good. Yeah, I believe I can now assimilate them into us as well. But let's see what these perfect traits are then. Ooh, well, they're golden. So, we have Genius, plus 20% researcher output. Wow, that is some serious quick growth. Very quick growth. Their growth is quick. Huge worker output there, and the armies are great. Armies again. Wait, is that only defense? Defense versus... Ooh, specialist output on that one. That's nice. And then loads of unity and, once again, army stuff. Honestly, it's not underwhelming, but it's not quite as extreme as I expected. I think is the best way of putting it. Like, it is incredibly powerful, just not, Honestly, I thought it was going to be broken. That's what it is. I thought it was going to be completely broken. Non-adaptive obviously won't matter since we're 100%, so we can give them that back. Still, 20%. Oh, also 20% extra assembly speed. That's nice. And I wonder if the Genius trait will also give the leaders something unique similar to that. Let's find out.
Situation log updated.
Okay, that's clearly broke. That just went to 0 months. It had a minus cost. That's overflowed, hasn't it?
Species modified.
That clearly isn't meant to happen, but let's check. Oh, yeah, there is a Genius, but it's being hidden, so I can't sodding see what it is. Oh, just +5 still. That, okay, now it's a little bit underwhelming. I did expect them to have, oh. Interesting, but one of the others has gave them a bonus. Never mind, another extra 10% if the leader is also it.
Receiving
Why is no one growing?
communications.
No, grow them. Okay, so never mind. Just that extra 10% is really interesting. And because it's apparently broken, so I can just quickly change these around. Do any of these also give a bonus? Let's go with the defense one. I figure like that's probably the one that's going to do it, right? Okay, this time it didn't break. Okay, let's do that. Let's see if that gives a bonus. And then after that, I think we're done for now. There's still clearly loads more to check out. I know that terraforming has also been changed, just as an example. So, don't worry. Loads more to this mod. This just scratching the surface just to give a taste of how it's changed the game. Well, that gives the ship extra hull points. Why did that not change everyone?
Situation log updated.
Try that again. I want to see if you fellows have anything new. They're just keeping that one. How's there still two? They must have just been created.
Updated.
Come on, hurry up. Let's change them all.
Species modified.
There we go. Now all we have are those. Do they... Okay, maybe it's just a matter of they always have that type of leader. So where it can apply, it does, even if the species doesn't actually have it, maybe? Where's the... Let's have a look, see at generals. You have that as well for army health. That's interesting. So yeah, you're still showing that. The research don't have anything extra. Yeah, not too sure what's going on there, to be perfectly honest, but sure, I mean, it's still really good. So never mind, I do take it back that it was underwhelming. It isn't, it just had bonuses I wasn't too sure of. And that is, I think, where I'm going to end it. The only thing I want to mention briefly is just the bioservants also got this when they were getting some of the other things. So, you know, more resources from jobs, and they also got the ability to have some of the bonuses like the main species. We can now assimilate other oh, that's why we're assimilating species and now turning into them. That's what's going on. So what happens if I delete the template? Now do they change? No, they're still showing that, so clearly that's always going to be there. Lost my train of thought there. Gonna reboot my mind for a second. So, I am going to call the video here. I've really enjoyed playing this today, trying to learn some of the new things. I do think there is a lot more to be explored, so I really hope you've enjoyed as well. If you have, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Stellaris is a series you wish to see continued in the future. If you'd like a full playthrough with this mod, which I think is going to be really intense, and probably take many, many days worth of recording, then tell me in the comments. It's really the best way to tell me, and leave a like on the video. It really does showcase that you're interested in this type of thing. So with that, thank you so much for watching, have a lovely day, and do take care. I'll probably be gone most of this week due to family obligations, and apparently I am also getting very sick at the moment, but probably from next weekend I will be starting more full playthroughs, and perhaps this is the mod we'll do it with. Thank you for watching, goodbye.